Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnatd back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about astrology influencers. Now, there was a recent video that came out about how astrology's new influencers, and the thing about it is, it included David Lawrence Palmer, aka the Leo King, a renowned astrologer, Samuel Reynolds, and one of the few people that had the guts to even take on Bill Nye, the science guy, in a debate pertaining to astrology. Now, also Lucy Green and Shanae Nicholas were in the video as well. Now, first of all, I wanted to start out by stating there's a lot of influencers in astrology, including the four people mentioned. Of course, they certainly figure very prominently in the influence of astrology and help people become more cognizant and aware of it. And the thing about it is, and also how it can be beneficial in our lives. Now, at the same time, I'd like to acknowledge all the astrologers out there that are there for the right purposes with astrology, unlike some people that may use it for nefarious reasons and to cause dissension and discord in the community, or doing it simply for self-aggrandizement, for egocentric reasons, just to simply build up their popularity, get exposure, get notoriety, things of that nature. I want to reach out and say thanks to all the people, astrologers out there that are there to try to make people more aware of astrology and to make it where it can be beneficial to others' lives. Now, the thing about it is that I want to commend and thank all the astrologers out there, the ones that are doing it for the right reasons, including YouTube astrologers, regular astrologers, authors on the subject, online internet astrologers for spreading the word, bloggers, and helping people bring astrology more into human consciousness. Now, at the same time, astrology fanatics, enthusiasts, they should be lauded and acknowledged as well, because many of them, are viewers of YouTube astrologers. They're avid book writers. There's avid book writers out there. And the thing about it is, the people that are simply fans of astrology, they need to be commended as well, because they are spreading the word of astrology, talking to others, maybe people that aren't really as knowledgeable about the subject, and helping them become more knowledgeable about it as well. So, and also the viewers of YouTube astrology videos, without the viewership, people like me would not be able to really have much incentive or impetus to be creating them, because without the viewership out there, you can't, there would be no point in really making the videos. So anyway, and also too, I want to the thing about, and people that are on astrological forums as well, they need to be commended. People that start astrology forums, whether it's on Facebook groups or what have you, and also because they are spreading the word, they're helping others enhance and augment their knowledge of the subject. Now, I do believe there's certainly been a resurgence in the popularity in astrology in recent time. Now, David Lawrence Palmer, aka the Leo King, he made an excellent point in that video I was talking about. He said that I mentioned. He said in the video that he stated something about it not being a flash in the pan, so to speak, as far as the resurgence and the popularity in astrology. This was not going to be something that would be very temporary. Now, many people figure prominently in perpetuating the belief of astrology, and of course, you have a lot of perpetual learners and getting others to understand it better. There may also be people that are professional astrologers that write extensively about the subject, whether it's through books and online blogs. Again, I want to laud them and praise them as well. the authors can be very influential and play an integral role in astrology being more accepted. Now, again, I do agree, concur with what David Lawrence Palmer said. This is not something that this is not going to be a flash in the pan, so to speak. This is going to be, the astrology is something because, as I stated before, given that you have all these people that are writing out there, people that are doing YouTube astrology videos, these are a lot of reasons I think it's going to be staying with us in terms of its popularity for some time. Now, but going back to what David Lawrence Palmer saying about this not being, about astrology not being the flash in the pan, he made an excellent point in the video when he made a correlation and analogy with the space probes that were launched in the late 1970s and where they are located now and where astrology is in our human consciousness today. I would agree astrology has ascended to new levels where they haven't been before, maybe even unprecedented. David also made an outstanding point in the video regarding how astrologers can have a greater opportunity now to, say, go on television shows and less likely to be chastised for their beliefs. And it's more, there's greater acceptance in astrology now than there was previously. I think people are just likely less condemned right now in general, whether as far as their belief in astrology, whether it's through going on a television show, whether it's doing YouTube videos, whether it's giving commentary in connection with astrology on the internet or what have you. And also too, I think too, what I think is interesting is that there was a report on MotherJones.com, and that stated the percentage of Americans that did not think astrology was at all scientific in 2012 was at 55%, as opposed to being 62% in 2010. Now, obviously, I don't know the data for 2019, but if I was to do some South Node and Virgo extrapolation, I would say by extrapolating the 2012 data, it would not surprise me if that percentage would be at 50%, around 50% now, meaning only that percentage of Americans or even lower would debunk the subject and find it not at all scientific. And also too, I think there's some other things to indicate that astrology is going to be more human conscious now, or human consciousness now, and it's not going to diminish anytime soon in terms of its general popularity. There's transits that could indicate this now. In the not so distant future, Pluto will enter Aquarius in 2023. Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for a very long time, for most of the period until 2044. And it's going to, I think it could, the way it could manifest, it could give more power to astrology. Now, Neptune is currently in Pisces. The planet and sign both associated with the metaphysical, which includes astrology. Now, again, Neptune is associated with filmography in Pisces, the metaphysical, which includes astrology. Now, Uranus is currently in Taurus and will be there for some years to come. I think this could manifest in people putting much value in astrology for this period. Now, also too, when Uranus enters Gemini in 2025, astrology may very likely be more prevalent in our communications. And also too, I see what will happen is around this time, I think you're going to have conferences that are associated with astrology. You may have people that actually appear to be talking with you in the same room, but in another country. I think this will revolutionize communications, this Uranus and Gemini transit. People that are in the ISAR, which of course that stands for International Society for Astrological Research. They're going to have, I think at that time, or they're going to have very advanced communications where they'll have, again, it'll be like they'll be having their conferences, and they could be talking, one person could be talking to someone from another country, and it could be as if they were in the same room. It'll be simulated, where it'll appear these people will actually be sitting down practically right next to each other, talking in the same room. So I think that's very, I think it's very significant, and I could see that taking place in the future. So anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Astrology Influencers, and stay tuned next time, where I'm going to be talking about solar eclipse in Cancer, which is going to take place on July 2nd, 2019. I'm going to give some early talk on it. So anyway, two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.